Aotearoa. 14 minutes past 8.
Issues of the day under T-Radar.
Let's talk about issues, because he's got issues on a Tuesday, as he always does. T-Radar joins us this morning. Good morning, T-Radar.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, very well.
Marvellous. Minwee, of course, very popular with the MySpace community.
It does seem to be in that latest survey that came out.
One of those odd surveys, hard to really figure out quite what's going on with it. But apparently, according to it, New Zealand music fans are very patriotic.
Patriotic, but what? Because they've been searching for New Zealand music on MySpace.
Is that what they've been doing?
I don't know.
Have they sort of said these are our favourite bands? And South Island, I think 19 out of 20. North Island, 17 out of 20 of the bands were New Zealand bands.
Now I've got to say, most of the bands on the North Island list I recognise.
Yes.
Most of the bands on the South Island list I do not.
A little more obscure.
And you'd think, working at the New Zealand 100% New Zealand music radio station, you'd know some of these.
Yes, you would
bands,
think that, but I've not heard of Chris Matthews and the Robot Monkey Orchestra. Isn't it great? And you kind of think, where do these names come from?
Yeah, well, I know that band, but hang on, before we go on with the names, I think what this little survey actually signals is that MySpace is dying. Because when you get, because they didn't really say how big those results were, or what sort of pool they were drawing from, and when you start, you start with small numbers, you get weird results. You do. It's very odd, but big call. The death of MySpace. You heard it here first. That's right here on Kiwi.
Crikey. Wow. It's good to know though that there are people out there, following all these bands, and it's always good to sort of see them out there doing their thing, rocking hard.
It's a bit patronising, isn't it, T-Radar?
I suppose it could be taken as being slightly patronising, yes, but I didn't mean it in that manner.
Oh, okay,
I actually meant it was a good thing, because when you think about it, look at all the people involved with it. Say those 20 bands, and each of those bands may have, let's say, an average of maybe 3 people. That's 60 people. They've all got friends and family.
Yeah.
An enormous community of musicians out there being honoured on MySpace. Unfortunately, of course, as you may quite rightly predict, not that many people going to MySpace anymore.
No.
How much room on the internet do you think is taken up with MySpace pages that no one goes to anymore?
Oh, too much.
It must be a glut of it.
The thing is, MySpace has always looked terrible. Awful-looking websites.
Yes, it has, hasn't it? Never really upgraded itself to make itself more attractive.
Yeah.
I always found it odd when suddenly you saw people with, 30,000 friends or something. You went, it just seems a bit strange. And you can buy friends now, Facebook friends. There's a company in Australia selling friends to Facebook.
Yeah, ridiculous, isn't it?
Madness.
Have you got yourself a fan page on Facebook?
A fan page?
A place where people can pay homage to T-Radar.
Do you set those up yourself, or is that considered to be a little bit narcissistic? Is it a little bit lawsy? I've got a bit lawsy on that one.
That's the year 2009. The year 2009 is narcissistic.
I guess so. Well, yeah, because, clearly I probably should think about it, because now that everyone's flush with cash again, as Treasury's reported, recession, I love how they phrase this, recession may be over.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Good. Okay.
So we didn't get to that sort of grinding poverty. We weren't all, dozens of neighbourhoods all just sort of lining up outside soup kitchens. We weren't selling children into factories to make cheap clothing. It didn't get to that sort of low point in recessions that we did. There was no Dust Bowl. That's
right. I thought a year ago we were going to be wearing gloves with no fingers, fingerless gloves.
That's right, made out of socks.
Yeah.
Yes, with holes in them. So, but apparently, according to the unemployment is not likely to reach previously expected highs, said Treasury, and it bases its upbeat predictions on the international recovery, positive migration figures, rising business and consumer confidence, and an improving housing market.
All that worry for nothing.
All of it, but I'm a little bit over the housing market, but sick of it. The housing market that caused a lot of these problems in the first place. Improving housing market, and it was, the housing market improved so well, it became too good. If
housing was a person, they'd be a major celebrity.
They would be.
Always on the front pages.
Always on the front pages. Housing going up, housing going down, housing neutral. Generally, those three stories run about every sort of second day.
Every Sunday, at least.
Yes, that's exactly right. Terrible. Madness. But not a celebrity, of course, and housing not featured at at the TV Qantas Film and TV Awards.
No.
Oddly enough, neither was TV3, and apparently there's a bit of a controversy over the whole thing. They had the screening of the awards on the television thing, kind of an odd event. Were you there?
No, I don't do TV.
No. Well, you should do.
Well, kind of.
Handsome guy like you. Good face. You got a good face for TV. Good voice for radio.
I'm trying my hand at web TV.
Web TV.
It's different league. Different
It
league.
is a different league, yes. But apparently TVNZ wanted some of the footage because TV3 didn't screen TVNZ winning all of the awards. Rightly so. Why should they? They went to all the effort of filming it. Apparently TVNZ had declined to film the screening this year. So, again, it's petty squabbling. And it's always great. You watch it year to year, and the great categories that they pay so much heed to. Best news. Is it them or is it us? That's like saying, what do I like more, being awake or sleeping? I like both of them for their own different purposes. Don't really mind.
That's where it does get kind of weird. The industry is just really far too small in New Zealand.
Yes.
Because the population's so small. We're the size of a medium city in the world.
That's right. Yes, I was thinking only that thing last night, and yet we can still garner headlines like shock winners at Qantas Awards. There were no shock winners at the Qantas Awards. No. That was, I think, a journalist interviewing themselves.
Yeah. Did you went? Did you?
Yeah, I was nominated.
You go every year. Nominated. Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Shock losers.
Yeah.
They were shocked. People like me, and I'll tell you what, if your award comes up quite early in the evening and you don't win, my God, it becomes an interminable process after that. Sitting there watching other people win, and gradually more and more people haven't won, and just all you're doing is really just waiting for the booze to start.
Sounds
flowing.
rather sad, really.
It is. It's a funny kind of thing. A lot of self-congratulations and ego masturbation.
Yeah, all of that.
Nonetheless, I think, true congratulations this week go to the two chaps, Adam Turnbull, I believe his name is, and Dan Melling, drove across Cook Strait in a van.
Isn't that amazing? Just that they managed to do it on the cheap like they did.
Absolutely.
Apparently.
Yes. Bit of polystyrene, and I'm trying to figure out what kind of van it is. It looks like some kind of, like a High Ace or something like that.
It looks like...
It was a Toyota Town Ace.
It looked like an Undy 500 stunt.
It did. And a reporter, I like to say, I read the article about it, and they said, they got out into the street, they cracked a few beers and heated a pie on the exhaust. Kiwis. That's the kind of thing you want to see. They had life jackets in the van, but they didn't wear them because the van was too floaty. Of course. It was marvellous. Apparently it's sort of ambled across the Cook Strait better than the support boats. Although the support boat very nearly caused an entire disaster because they were trolling a big line behind the support boat, and they very nearly caught the propeller of the van.
Oh, well, that could have been disaster.
Yes, but marvellous. Imagine if there was wouldn't that be a great race?
Bunch of vans.
Like a sort of an Undy 500 for Cook Strait crossings.
Yeah.
The safety Nazis would get their tits in a tangle over that.
They certainly would. You'd have to look out for rogue waves,
you would.
whales.
And it really, how dangerous would it be? Because it's clearly a lot more dangerous to stay at home. Our ACC survey came out last week. Injuries occurred in the home. 17,000 people a year. Yeah. Which is 40 people a day, nearly 2 people an hour, injured in bathrooms.
Goodness.
Dangerous places.
What are they doing in the bathroom?
Well, I guess there's all the slips, there's cutting yourself shaving, a bit of hair gel in the eye. Terrible places. All
you need to do is go in there and sit down.
Well, that's right. 835 people injured, falling over the household dog. Wow. Falling over the dog. Yes. That
is significant. That is not a small amount of people.
No. I mean, I can understand that 5,346 people suffered dog bites. Yeah. Dogs are, but injured, falling over the dog. I can understand it. They do you get under your feet, the dog, all a bit sort of, hey, here I am, hey. Oddly, no sort of similar statistics for falling over the cat. No.
What? Because the cat normally should get out of the way, and if it doesn't, it's small, so it gives a little bit.
They do give, yes. And of course, the one that you do predict, 6,000 people suffered ladder-related injuries.
Ah, right. Now, that's the one that they always publicise on the ads, don't they? The guy falling off the ladder.
That's right.
What about falling through plates, glass, coffee tables?
Yes, I was just thinking that one. And remember, there was also the guy who slipped and fell in the shower.
Oh, yes. So
terrible.
Yeah, with the old neck.
I nearly fell somewhere the other day. Oh, gave me a hell of a fright. Oh, I nearly fell down my stairs.
Well, you almost had a turn.
I nearly had a turn, so I'm not sure whether that would have counted as a household injury because I was outside at the time, but I guess it would have been. Terrible. Falling downstairs.
Look, finally, the question being asked this morning is whether or not Nigel Latter is the appropriate guy to be on this panel reviewing the anti-smacking.
Well, he's come out and he says he thinks the whole thing was a load of malarkey anyway, and he's just had his very popular politically incorrect guide to parenting on, so... if anyone knows what it is that's going to turn people into psychos, I imagine it's Nigel Latter, having done, the Darklands and all of that sort of thing, which I had a very interesting... That's actually one of the best things about the TV Awards. You get to catch up with people you haven't seen, and all very interesting conversation with some people about some upcoming episodes of that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, and on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, he will know, and they'll all get there and they'll have a jolly good discussion about it. And the most interesting thing about that, they've had the referendum come out and the government said, well, we're not really going to, pay all that much attention to it. And then within the same breath almost they went, and we're going to have a referendum on MMP. So what's good for the goose is clearly not so good for the gander.
That went under the radar.
Did it? Yes. Yesterday came out, MMP referendum. Next election, apparently.
Okay.
So we'll be back to all of that squabbling
Once
to see
again.
whether or not we think MMP is working.
All right, thanks, T-Radar.
We'll speak again.
Next time.
Enjoy your non-recession.
You too.